the scores that they had in their preliminary rounds on Friday. Michele Mitchell, 465, a dominant position. Genna Weiss in second place. Lori Rizzuto, the qualified third, had to pull out of the contest because she tore a tendon, a tricep muscle, in some platform competition. We're now watching Mary Ellen Clark getting ready for her 6th round dive, an arm stand double somersault in pike position.
John, the divers must show control in the arm stand. That's all.
And control they demonstrated. In the water she goes. Mary Ellen Clark is working towards a master's degree in physical education at Ohio State, and at 5 feet 1 inches of height, she is the shortest athlete competing in this platform contest. You hear the judges'
scores? Thus far, John, she's having a great final competition. That arm stand that she uses was only 2.4 degree of difficulty. So even though you stand on your hands 33 feet up in the air at 10 meters, that was not a difficult dive.
Now up Kelli Hill, who's currently in 5th position. She's 18 years of age. She's going to be doing a backward dive, 2.5 somersault, pike position. Back 2.5, pike position.
Now that dive carried a 2.9 degree of difficulty. If you remember, the scores are multiplied by that degree of difficulty. It's very important, but that wasn't a good dive. So even though she used the harder dive, she'll drop down in the standings.
I think you raise a good point, Phil, that the contest in diving is not to get the best scores from the judges, but to get the most points at the end of the contest. So the more difficult dives you run a risk of getting a ton of points if you do it well, or losing a ton of points if you do it poorly. Darcy Dominic getting ready for a forward 3.5 somersault in tuck. She's 17 years old from Boca Raton, Florida. Born in Pittsburgh, PA.
Little over rotation. That's 3.5 somersaults.
Darcy Dominic is also into gymnastics and cheerleading in high school. She's 17 years of age, 5 feet 5 inches tall. The crowd not really appreciating the 5s and 5s and a half she got from the judges.
Well, what the crowd appreciates is the fact that she did 3.5 somersaults, but the judges don't care that it was a difficult dive or it's an easy dive. They're supposed to judge only the performance, and the performance was not up to par.
And the degree of difficulty will reward her for trying the difficult dive. Lisa Trefzger from Cincinnati, Ohio, at 21 years of age.
This is an inward 2.5 somersaults in the pike position. She'll somersault towards the platform. And that was a very good dive. Lisa comes from a diving family. Her older brother was an All-American at Ohio State.
So Lisa Trefzger, who majors in fine arts, graduate of Walnut Hills High School in Cincinnati, Ohio, where she played volleyball and basketball. She now trains with Charlie Casuto at the Red Roof Inn Divers team. You're now looking at Tara Justice. Tara's preparing to dive a back 1.5 somersault in layout position.
This is another one of Lisa's teammates at the Red Roof Inn Divers.
Wait.
And another youngster in the competition. She's only 16 years old. You see the youngsters break into the competition on platform before springboard. Platform is an easier event mechanically, even though it's difficult from standpoint of the height. It's 1.5 somersaults backwards, that's all. But somersaulting in that straight or layout position is very difficult, and that was an excellent dive.
7.5 from the judges. So now we're getting ready to watch Bonnie Pankoff, who's currently in 3rd position.
And this is a difference, again, in difficulty of dive. We just saw back 1.5 somersaults. This is back 2.5 somersaults, carrying a degree of difficulty of 2.9 versus the 2.4. Was terrific. Bonnie is a good diver, but an inconsistent diver. Thus far today, she's having a great competition for 6 rounds.
There are 8 rounds in women's 10-meter platform.
You can see her pull into a very tight pike position and straighten out completely for the entry. And then very little splash on the entry, and that's what the judges are looking for.
4 7.5s, a couple of 8s, and 8.5. 66 points on the dive, almost 67 points, and you can see she's pretty pleased with her performance.
That's one of her teammates right there congratulating her, even though she's performing in the same competition.
Here comes the youngster, 15 years old, 5 feet 3 inches tall, out of Silver Spring, Maryland, from a very athletic family. Her dad was on the Olympic gymnastics team, won a gold medal at the Pan Ams. Mom, Margie, was a national YMCA champion, and her sister's a champion ice skater. Very talented family. Back 2.5. Pike position.
She's faltered this afternoon. She was not in our top 5, but she was only 13 points out of second going into that dive. So a good dive could have put her right back in contention, but that was bad. She didn't finish the rotation at all.
And the judges agree, 4.5, a 3.5, and a 5. High and low will be tossed out. 36 points on that dive with a degree of difficulty 2.9. That really should be a lot higher for her. Coming up, top qualifier, defending champion, platform diver of the year in the world, 1985. Olympic silver medalist, doing an inward 3.5 somersault tuck position, 3.2. Her coach says if she's going to blow any dive, this is the one that's most likely to give her trouble.
But he also said she's regained her confidence from 1985, where she was World Dive of the Year. In 1986, she had a bad World Championships. And that was great. So it looks like her confidence is back, and she is diving well.
She's heading for a high-scoring round. 8 dives total. She's completed 6.
She had her second highest personal total ever in the preliminaries. 3.5 somersaults inward, the most difficult inward optional used in competition in the world by men or women.
And she's got herself 8s and 7s from the judges. 74 points for that. 320 is her score at the end of the 6th round. We've got 2 more rounds of championship diving off 10-meter platform when we come back. If we look at her 7th, Michelle's 7th round dive.
The back 1 1/2 somersaults with 3 1/2 twists. Most difficult twisting dive used by a woman in competition today, and it's great, John. Right straight in.
In fact, the judges gave her 5 9s and 2 8s, so that was an outstanding performance. Now on the ready to do a forward 2.5 somersault. Twisting, Amy Hansen, 20 years old, 5 feet 6 inches tall, out of Cedarsburg, Wisconsin.
It's a little bit unusual, John. She'll start the somersault, then she'll open up and add a twist, and then finish the somersault.
Interesting. She's coached by Coach Dick Kimball. She's a student at Cedarsburg High School, where she also competes in track and field. She was, as a student, she was, right.
7-7.
Watch her start the somersault forward, open up, add 1 twist, and then finish another somersault and a half. So it's 2.5 somersaults with 1 twist.
So 52 points on the dive. 345 will be her final score. That's the end of the competition here at the U.S. Olympic Festival for her. Next up, Sue Cribari. In fact, Sue is in our top 3 spots right now. In fact, her teammate, Bonnie Pankoff, share little pet names for each other. Sue's called Sewage because she used the word edge, or the suffix edge. There's lots of signage around here. They got good scorage from the judges, so they started calling her Sewage. And her friend Bonnie started getting the name Bondage, if you like that. Sue's going to be doing an inward 2.5 somersault, tuck position.
And right now, Sue and Bonnie are separated by 4/10 of a point. It's been jockeying back and forth for the entire field for that second place. And the door is open. We still don't know after that dive who can get second. Concentration, somersaulting towards the platform 2.5 times. Little over rotation at the end.
So that concludes her contest. And a little cheer for Mary Ellen Clark, who's next up. 43 points for Sewage. 370 is a total score. Mary Ellen waiting for the official's whistle. Shows her she's ready to go. Mary Ellen Clark getting ready to do a backward 1.5 somersault, 2.5 twists.
16 points behind. She's doing a more difficult dive, 2.8 to 2.5. She has a very good chance of moving into second with this dive. But she, like Sue Cribari, over-rotated the somersault. Again, you're going to see those 5.5s and 6s.
I don't think the crowd's going to like that. They like to see a little higher scores from the judges, but indeed the judges scored as they see it and used the degree of difficulty to make
2.5 twists, and that just gives you an indication of how high up they are. You can see that over rotation.
So that concludes Mary Ellen Clark's diving contest here at the U.S. Olympic Festival. Next up, Kelli Hill, 18 years of age, out of Boca Raton, born in Columbus. She trains with the Mission Bay squad under the age group coach, Jeff Schaefer. Goes to Spanish River High School. She'll be graduating next year. An inward 2.5 somersault in pike position.
Well, she's getting another training lesson from her teammate at Mission Bay, which is Michele Mitchell.
Everybody's learning from Michele here. Michele is more dominant in the women's event than Louganis was in the men's event earlier today.
Well, Greg had his hands full. He had a great contest. Michele is dominant today, one of the best women tower divers in the world, 1982 world champion, 1984 Olympic bronze medalist. Wendy Weiland has had shoulder surgery and is out and missing this competition.
So Kelli Hill gets 7.5, a couple of 6.5s from the judges.
A good last dive for Kelli, just finishing the dive before she hit the water.
So 58 points for her. 335 is her total as she gets a little bit of reassurance from Coach Ron O'Brien. Hi, Mom, to you. Darcy Dominic is next. Darcy is in 5th position going into this last round. 17 years of age, 5 feet 5 inches tall. She was a 1985 Junior Olympic champion on the 3 and the 10-meter event. She's also into gymnastics and cheerleading in high school. This will be her final dive.
Another youngster in the competition.
Backward 1.5 somersault, 3 twists.
Right straight in, a lot of splash on the entry. So she's done several of the elements right. Takeoff, an okay jump. The dive in the air, which she performed very accurately, right straight up and down. Last thing the judges see is the entry. She had a lot of splash. They take off considerably for that.
Well, Darcy Dominic can be pleased with her performance here at the U.S. Olympic Festival. Right now it's Tara Justice. She's up on the platform preparing for a forward 2.5 somersault in pike position. Tara Justice is 16 years old. She was the youngest diver here last year.
It's an excellent last dive, but only 2.3 degree of difficulty. We saw other girls in the competition do dives at 2.7 and 2.8, and Michele Mitchell do 2 dives at 3.2 degree of difficulty. Run at us, throw off that hunk of cement 33 feet up, 2.5 somersaults, right straight in on the bottom.
Tara Justice placed 8th in this event last year. She also plays soccer at Independence High School. Next up, Bonnie Pankoff, a fun gal, loves to play with a lot of people. She's 3rd after 7 dives. She's certainly in medal contention. She's going for her final dive, an inward 2.5 somersault in pike position, 2.8 degree of difficulty.
They all open the door, and they keep changing position. She had a great shot at 2nd place. All she needed was a good dive. Not a great dive, a good dive, and she could have had 2nd place. Right here, she throws 2.5 somersaults. You can see her just let go way too early and doesn't finish the rotation.
So the young girl who shares the name Bondage with her friend Sewage Cribari. They're a fun-loving couple and seem to have enjoyed their performance. Unfortunately, that last dive wasn't quite up what to her expectations might have been. Genna Weiss, however, is coming on strong with her final 2 dives. Her last dive was pretty solid. She's got a ways to go, though. 15 years old. Born in Washington, D.C., she trains down in Boca Raton.
She's training with Ron O'Brien, who's a diving coach at Mission Bay, who is also Michele Mitchell's diving coach. And Ron O'Brien, who is the United States Olympic coach in 1988, thinks she has a legitimate chance to become an 88 Olympian, even though she's only 15 right now. That was an excellent last dive. She has a lot of the elements that it takes to be a champion. She's got great composure. She's got great entries on the dives. Not much of a jump, but good position in the air and a very nice entry.
what's the optimum age to put your daughter into the sport of diving off a 10-meter? I mean, I would think 15 years old is kind of young to be jumping off that thing.
Well, they start them training not right away up on 10-meter at 4, 5, 6, and 7 years old. But that's on springboard. They move into the platform later on, usually 10, 11, and 12, before they even get up to the intermediate platform levels. And that's the place that they compete at in the age group competitions.
This is the final dive, the belle of the ball, Michele Mitchell. Forward 3.5 somersaults in tuck.
A great list. She may have her own personal best record on this particular performance.
And so Michele Mitchell, after 8 consecutive solid dives, receives a standing ovation from members of this crowd that sold out. We've got about 3,000 people here. A standing performance for Michele Mitchell. Uncontested, she's getting 8s and a halves, 4 scores of 9 from the judges, 71 dives, 476 points.
That is a sports festival record.
Indeed, it might even be her personal best time, and you can see her performance pleases even her. Coach Ron O'Brien, big hug and a kiss. The man who guides her along the way. Michele Mitchell with a new Olympic festival record, silver medal at this event at the Olympics in Los Angeles. She got the gold medal in this event the last 2 years, 85 and 86. She was gold medalist, so this is the hat trick, 3 in a row in between Olympics from Michele Mitchell. Let's take a look at that last dive one more time.
Forward 3.5 somersaults. Watch how aggressive she is. She pounds the end of the tower. Great jump, nearly 2 somersaults above the platform. Perfectly straight in on the finish. Coming at you, 3.5 somersaults. Great performance and a great list of dives.
Clearly a gold medal performance. We'll be back to find out who wins the silver and the bronze medals here when we come back in just a moment.
Yeah, no. Take care of it. You're going to see somebody else.
We're back at the Candler Swim Club, but the diving competition is now over. Genna Weiss, the youngster, giving a congratulatory hug to her teammate and possible mentor as well. Michele Mitchell's title and gold medal not only marks a new Olympic festival record, but it's her 3rd consecutive victory in this event as well. And our own Phil Boggs is down at poolside with our winner.
Thanks, John. Michele, 3 points from your personal best. Your coach said you were trying to regain your confidence. Look pretty confident today.
Well, I've changed my attitude, my competitive attitude, just a little bit. I'm becoming more aggressive, and personally, I think it showed today in my score and my diving.
We also noticed on your last dive you came out, first thing was ice in the shoulder. We have an injury, a problem?
I don't think it's too serious. I pulled my shoulder on the second dive, and we have our nationals and our Pan Am trials coming up, so we just want to be protective right now.
A little bit expectations for the nationals and possibly the Pan American Games?
Well, we still have a week to go back to the drawing board and also get a little rest, so I don't want to put any expectations on myself right now.
John Neighbor?
Thanks, Phil. Congratulations, Michele. Michele Mitchell enjoying a feeling that I'm sure she's grown accustomed to. Public recognition in front of one's peers is a joy that's hard to describe, but one well worth pursuing. Well, that concludes some outstanding performances, and of course there'll be names to remember for years to come. As the spectators file for the exit, I'm John Neighbor saying with Phil Boggs, so long from Olympic Festival Diving. Boggs alongside you are looking at the today and tomorrow of U.S. diving. Genna Weiss, the young 15-year-old, is sitting on the left. Michele Mitchell is sitting on the right. Michele, the reigning